Hey guys, welcome back to the Advanced Enemies series. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a healing enemy in Roblox. So let me just showcase it here. So I have this tank here which I just attacked, and as you can see the healing enemy is healing it slowly by moving up to it and just kind of healing its health every few seconds basically. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do in today's video. Alright guys, so I've opened up a new base plate, and the first thing you're going to want to do is add in your character, which will be used for the healing enemy. And I just made my own. Obviously make your own, or make it more high quality too. And the next thing you're going to want to do is add an attachment and a beam somewhere on the body. I would put it in the hand or wherever, but yeah, wherever you want to put it. Basically this is just going to be the beam of light that I had in the start of the video, which will be able to kind of showcase the enemy healing the other enemy a lot easier, I guess, and it'll just make it a cool effect. And so I just added this attachment just in the hand and positioned it at the bottom of the hand in the middle. And you can easily do this by just adding an attachment, just add an attachment to the hand, and then you just position it how you like by dragging it or using the move tool. You can also do that. And yeah, and then also you want to add a beam, so you just add beam. You can search it up. I already added one. I named it heal beam, and I made it yellow and tweaked some of the properties here. Feel free to make your own beam. If you don't know how to make beams, there's a lot of videos out there that teach you how. But yeah, for this tutorial I'm just teaching you how to make a healing enemy. So yeah, by the way, there's nothing inside this attachment, it's just this thing that Roblox does, so just ignore that. And yeah, the next thing we're gonna do is add 2 folders to the workspace, and we're gonna name one of them characters, and the other we're gonna name enemies. And basically we're going to use these for some scripting later. Make that in uppercase. And then yeah, now we're going to add a script to server storage, or no, server script service, sorry. And we're going to name this to character handler. If you've watched the previous videos in my series, you know what we're doing here. We're pretty much simplifying the scripting later, but yeah, basically I'm just gonna type some code in here and explain what it does. And yeah, alright, so I just typed in the code for this script. It's only a few lines, it's very simple. Basically, when a player is added to the game, so when a player joins the game, we will wait till their character is loaded, and then we'll add that character to this characters folder. It won't affect the game at all, but basically it will add a character to this folder, which will make it easier to kind of loop through all the players' characters in the game, so then we can easily find like a player to chase, I guess, with the enemy. So it'll make it a lot less laggy and better performance and easier to script as well. But yeah, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a script into the enemy. Sorry, not a humanoid, but a script. And basically we're just gonna name this script healing enemy AI. There we go, healing enemy AI. And basically this script is going to be the script which will be the AI for the healing enemy. And yeah, so I'm going to type out the simple code just to make this enemy kind of search for another enemy and then go towards it. And yeah, it's just gonna find the closest enemy to it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay guys, so I just wrote out the code for the following, or the enemy finding. So basically it'll just move towards an enemy. But basically what this does is I wrote out two variables. So I have the humanoid and the humanoid root part of the healing enemy, and then what I did was I wrote out a function to find the nearest ally. So the healing enemy's ally would be any other enemy that is trying to attack the player. So basically its goal is to find the closest ally, and that's why we have this enemies folder, because for your game you're going to want to put any enemies that you have in this folder. So like I had just added this tank and put it in this folder, and basically what this function will do is it will loop through the folder of all the enemies, and then it will find which enemy is closest to this healing enemy, and then the healing enemy will move towards the closest enemy, basically. That's kind of the goal of this code here, and this loop is just continuously firing this function to figure out which enemy is closest to it and then move towards that enemy, essentially. So yeah, that's basically what that code does, and as you can see, it works well. Obviously we need to add a lot more code though, and so that's what we're gonna do next. So yeah, now we need to just add the healing effect that the enemy will do, or now we need to make it heal the enemy, now that we have the enemy or the target, essentially. So what we're actually gonna do for this, just like the last video I made, we're going to use an animation event to trigger the heal effect. So basically what an animation event is it's basically a certain point in the animation that will fire something in the script that will activate something, right? And basically, yeah, so we're gonna make a healing animation for this guy, which he will basically point at the tank or whatever enemy that it is trying to heal, and then in the middle of that animation or whatever, we're gonna put an animation event that will trigger, and then we will detect when that event triggers in this script and we'll make it heal the enemy. So I'm going to import the animation that I made already. So I'm just going to open the animation editor and I'm going to import the animation that I made. You guys are going to need to make your own animation, but basically here it is. So this is the animation that you saw at the beginning of the tutorial. So he just points up and then puts his hand back down, and basically yeah, so now you need to add an animation event, and I have this animation event right here which is called heal. And now how you add animation events is you have to click on this little wheel over here and you have to click show animation events, right, if you haven't already. And then once you see this extra bar here, you need to click this icon and then you will be able to add an event like that. And yeah, so yeah, before you click that, you just want to click wherever you want in the animation, like let's say right here, and then yeah, then you just add the event and you just choose a name and then you click save. I already made heal right here, and that's all we need, right? All we need is one event for this. But yeah, that's essentially how you make an animation event. and I'm going to show you how to use it in a second. But yeah, make sure you also remember the name of your event so that you can use it in the script, because it's vital that you remember the exact name. So mine is heal with an uppercase H. But yeah, and we can just close the animation editor. I'm going to open the output window back up. And then yeah, so now we need to add the actual script or the code that will make the enemy stop and heal the enemy. So that's what we're gonna do next. Okay guys, so I just wrote out some more code. This doesn't make it heal the enemy, but basically what this does is it makes it stop when it gets close enough to heal the enemy, because that's important to make it look better and work better. So I changed up this while loop and I added this function and a few variables. So I added a heal debounce and a heal range, and then the function basically makes the enemy stop in its tracks, so it just stops walking. And then the while loop just detects if the enemy is within heal range. So if it's close enough to another enemy or another ally or whatever to kind of heal it, I guess, and we set that to 20, but you can set that to whatever. And then yeah, so that's just a new condition, and I also added an else here, and if we still have a target and there's no heal debounce, then we will stop the enemy, so it will stop in its tracks, because this means that it's close enough. And the heal debounce will be more important later, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, if we just run it and we move the enemy away, it will kind of walk towards it and stop instead of just continuously going until it runs into the enemy now. So this is way nicer, way cleaner, and it works way better. So yeah, now we have that working. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to actually make the enemy heal the other enemy, or the healing enemy heal the other enemy. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to code next. Okay guys, so I just wrote out the rest of the code. I also added this heal animation to the healing enemy. So yeah, you just want to add an animation, just type animation, just add it to your enemy, and then just add the ID of your animation that you made earlier. If you made one, you should make one, because we're going to use animation events. So yeah, but in this script I added a bunch more variables. So I added heal track, which is just the loaded animation, so we're just loading our animation that we have. And then the heal beam, which I showed you earlier, which is in the right hand, and the beam attachment, which is obviously needed as well. I also made a current target variable, which will make it easier to kind of do stuff like that. And then I also added a heal debounce, or no, I didn't add that. No, never mind. Ignore that. But anyways, so now what we're gonna do, so yeah, I'll just explain what this does. So the heal track, when it reaches the heal event, which we we defined earlier in the animation, it will create a new attachment, and basically this attachment is for the heal beam. So these lines of code are basically just to kind of basically make the heal beam work. So it's making a new attachment in the current target's head. so the current ally like that we're trying to heal's head, and we're basically making attachment 1 of this beam, that new attachment right there, and then we're waiting, and then we destroy it. So yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the event, I guess. It only really does cosmetic things, but yeah. And then I made the main heal function here, which it sets the heal D bounce to true, obviously, and this kind of just rotates the enemy towards its target so it looks better, and then it sets the current target to the target which we got down here, and then it plays the animation which will eventually trigger this. And then it waits 0.5 seconds to heal the enemy. So I know it says take damage, but there is no heal like event or function in Roblox. So what you do is they basically allow you to say negative damage, which is just healing. So I said take damage -20, so this is just healing at 20 and then waiting another 1.5 and setting the debounce back to false. And then down here in this while loop, we just detect if the debounce is false, obviously, and then we stop, and then I added this little if statement here which will just detect if the enemy that we're targeting's health is like actually damage, so like if they've actually taken damage, and then if they have, we will heal the target. If they haven't, we won't, obviously, because we don't want to heal them if they don't need to be healed. And this actually should be all the code for this enemy, essentially. And if we play, well, I have my tank here, and if we attack, it will start to heal it over time. Obviously, this is very slow healing. If you want the enemy to heal it faster, you can obviously change how much it heals, and you could also change the health of your enemies and the damage of your weapons. The Roblox sword does an extreme amount of damage, but yeah, like this enemy literally has 500, but yeah, that is how you make a healing enemy in Roblox. Also, another thing, if there's no enemies, it will just stand there. It won't do anything, so it'll just be passively waiting. Another thing you want to keep in mind is that if you add enemies, like if you have a spawning enemy, which we made in the last tutorial, you want to make sure that whenever it spawns new enemies, that it changes the parent not to workspace but to the enemies folder. And also another thing, if you want it to do something when there's no enemies to heal, like if there's no enemies around, maybe you could have it detect like that there's nothing in this folder, like nothing in the enemies folder, and you could just have it act like a normal enemy and chase you and attack you. But I'll leave that to you. That's gonna be about it for this tutorial though, and thank you for watching. Please go follow my Twitter and subscribe, and join my Discord if you have any questions. Obviously the link doesn't work right now. It might work as of the time you're watching this video, but yeah, I'm actively trying to fix that. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.